He was shaking, but not from fear, nerves, or the cold. This was something deeper, instinctive, as if his small body was trying to flee itself. The sheets beneath him were drenched, his back arched unnaturally. The thermometer blinked again, 104.3. The number didn't change. His lips were split, his breath ragged, his skin flushed in unnatural hues. He wasn't crying anymore, just letting out soft, broken whimpers like a wounded animal left out too long under a cruel sun. I pressed a cool washcloth to his forehead with one hand, dialing with the other. She was laughing on speaker before I could mute it. "He's just trying to get attention," she said, her voice lazy and soaked in alcohol. Glasses clinked, voices and music buzzed in the background. "Let him sweat it out," she added, laughing again. "They all did. I didn't. I called an ambulance. Then I called my lawyer. Not because I was furious, but because I was finished." I said nothing when she finally walked through the door. I didn't mention the voicemail, the EMTs, or how close our son had come to seizing in my arms. She wandered in just before dawn, one shoe dangling from her fingers, lipstick smeared across the wrong cheek, phone still in hand. She kissed my shoulder absently and murmured, "He's okay now, right?" Not how is he, not what happened, just okay now, like he'd been a temporary inconvenience that had fixed itself. I watched her as she slept. Her breathing was steady, undisturbed, guiltless, as if nothing inside her even registered what she had abandoned. I kept telling myself she hadn't always been like this. But then I started noticing the patterns, the texts she didn't reply to, the recurring contact saved as "see," always late at night, always a little too familiar. Her withdrawal wasn't sudden. It had been carefully crafted, and I had let it continue. Until that night. Until the fever. Until her laughter. That was when something inside me stopped making excuses. I didn't chase after her. I went looking for him. Christopher, the name she forgot to hide once while half asleep. I ran his number through a reverse lookup. A corporate mobile. Real estate company. Married. Interesting. Quietly, I began pulling call logs. I paid for the kind of digital digging service usually used by paranoid spouses or nosy bosses. Every Thursday, girls' night, she called him. Sometimes well past midnight. 5 minutes. 10. 20. I reviewed hotel invoices. Credit card transactions. She didn't cover her tracks well. Maybe she thought I'd never look. And she was right, until now. I took our son in for a DNA swab, just to silence a voice inside me that had begun asking the kind of questions I didn't want answered. I swabbed myself too, twice, to be sure. Sent everything off. Waited. While I waited, I smiled at her. Held her hand. Watched her tuck our son into bed with a kind of motherly tenderness that could have won awards, if it hadn't been so performative. She only played the part when it suited her, and I had always played along. The envelope arrived, plain, white, forgettable. My hands were steady when I opened it. I'd already lived this moment in my mind too many times. Paternity probability, 0%. I sat motionless, thoughtless, suspended in that silence. It wasn't betrayal that shattered me. It was the realization that I had known all along, and stayed anyway. Raised a boy who wasn't biologically mine. Not out of ignorance, but because pretending had felt easier than facing the truth. That evening, I called her into the kitchen and handed her the envelope without a word. She smiled at first, thought it was just another bill. But then she saw the letterhead. Read the words. Her face drained. "What is this?" she whispered. Her voice was hoarse and small. I didn't answer. I just looked at her. Let her piece it together. Let the silence suffocate her. She caved first. "It didn't mean anything," she mumbled. Still, I said nothing. "You're overreacting," came next. Then tears. Panic. "He's your son in every way that counts." She reached for me. I stepped away. That's when I said it. "He'll always be my son. You were just a mistake I allowed too long." The legal documents were already drawn up. My lawyer had filed them the same day the test results came in. Emergency motion. Neglect. Endangerment. This wasn't about revenge. I needed clarity. The court reviewed the hospital reports, call records, social media posts, pictures of her partying while our son battled a raging fever. I was granted temporary sole custody. A restraining order followed. That Thursday, when she arrived expecting to pick him up for the weekend, she was met with new locks, curious neighbors, and me, standing at the window, holding him in my arms. She screamed, pounded on the door like someone deranged. "You can't do this." I didn't respond. He stirred against my chest, barely awake, and I whispered, "Yes, I can." She doesn't laugh anymore. Not when I see her across the courtroom. Not when her attorney stumbles through excuses and pleas. She isn't the same woman who joked about our son faking his illness. That version of her ended the moment she realized I wasn't bluffing. I never raised my voice. Never hit her. Never even insulted her. I just handed her the truth and ensured it crushed everything she'd built on lies. She's allowed only supervised visits now. 1 hour. Twice a month. He never asks for her. Not anymore. He clings to me like I'm the only gravity he knows. And I hold him close like something I nearly lost. Because I did. And I won't again. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. But mine wasn't revenge. It was a response. Because when she told the world to let him suffer through the fever, she didn't realize the fever was mine. And I'd been burning for years.